Guys.
Prediction? Yes, prediction.
Episode 97.
Hey.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person anymore. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, being a great warrior. Maybe with a Mexican.
Óyelo.
I have to put the joke.
No. Hey, thank you for playing, man. I appreciate you.
Good timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Jueves 23 de septiembre, ladies and gentlemen, on podcast again with Los Locos Amigos here, Manny Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Allergy Hopper.
Allergy Hopper, but he's still going to break it down like it is, like it should be. We are LongLiveBoxing and Bebop podcast, and I keep forgetting. I know we're close to
97.
100, but this is 97, right?
Yes.
Podcast number 97.
Yeah, man.
So many. 97.
Goodness gracious. Feels
It's
like
unbelievable.
Feels like forever.
And we picked up a new crew show member,
I know.
Hopper.
Look at this guy right next to me. Can you feel it? Can you dig him? What's wrong with you, Hopper?
Want to introduce everybody to Allergy Hopper.
Allergy Hopper? The light's too bright?
I'm not wearing these. Yes, the lights are kind of bright, but I'm not wearing these glasses for a fashion statement. I'm not going for a new look. I'm not trying to be cool, trying to be hip or that indoor guy. But every September for like the past 10 years or so, I get these severe allergies. I've already taken my allergy shot. I've been popping Claritin like Skittles. And it's ridiculous. It really messes up my eyes. They're red, they're watery, they're bags under them. It's not pretty. So for through the meantime, you're gonna have to deal with Allergy Hop.
Allergy Hopper. Well, I get what you're saying, man. I understand because I know that I get allergies, but not as severe as you do. But they're in a pain. They're a pain in the ass.
Annoying as hell.
And of course, I keep it under control. But this is the time. This is the allergy season. But we ain't here to talk about allergies. Nor you didn't retire today.
Nah, I did not
for
retire.
Us. He's here, and we're ready to talk boxing.
Somebody
Sean, glad
retired.
to see you, bro.
Hey, Gringo!
Now we can see you in front, right there.
Hey, what's up, brothers?
Turn my neck here. What's up, my amigo? How's H-Town treating you, bro?
Oh, man, it's doing great, man. The humidity was below 80%. So I'm living the dream. All right, my sweater.
Is that a good day?
That's an amazing day, sir. So, yeah, feeling really good and, love talking boxing with my brothers. And I know we want to kick things off about, actually, I know everybody's excited about, people getting slapped. But we want to talk about and give respect to a legend, a living legend, and make sure we acknowledge it properly. And, Hopper, there's some things you want to chime in with specifically regarding this living legend.
Definitely. Well, and this is what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the great Manny Pacquiao. He recently came out with some news that he's going to retire. And unlike other boxers that retire, unretire, I think this time it's goodbye for Pacquiao because he announced his campaign for presidency at the same time as he retired. So, I mean, it's still a possibility. I know his manager came out and said there's still a possibility, but I can't see it. I don't know about you guys, but running for president, it's going to take a lot of your time, a lot of your focus. You're not going to be training as hard as you when you're active in your career. So I'm thinking that it's 90-10. He's retired.
Well, I think more it's because what if he doesn't win the elections? Then that's a different story. And if you can get a rematch with someone like Ugas again, I think that they left the door cracked, not open.
Yep.
They left that door cracked a little bit to see what happens. And I think it's coming up, is it March of 2022? I think those are the elections. But he officially announced himself as a candidate. And we know for a fact the Philippines have been suffering a lot. And they see a potential in Manny. He's been in the Senate for years as well. I don't know how the heck he juggles that shit. I mean, God, you know what I mean? But
it's hard enough, right?
And I think that's part of it, that why his performance was not up to his level of what we've seen him. But, you know, more so, I mean, he's up in age. He's not young enough.
Yeah, he'll be older back then. He'll be older after the election as well.
And then how much is he going to keep training throughout this time? So I don't think so. I think he's got a lot in its hand, and I think if and there's chances he's going to be able to win. But I think he left us with lots of memories. I mean, come on, 8 division champions, 13 world titles, if I'm not mistaken. That's huge. This is a guy that you know, if you think about it, where he started, you know, the division that he started in the flyweight division, and move up all the way up to, you know, to the Walters, and still being successful, and at the age that he was able to capture the last, you know, title.
The oldest welterweight champion, I believe. If I'm
at
not
all.
mistaken.
I mean, the more in the divisions. I mean, this is the guy that if you start watching his career over again, you would have never, you know, even in your dreams, would have never thought that he would get to 147 pounds. There is no way. But honestly, I mean, best times that I've seen Pacquiao, it's been in the 135s. That's,
right.
You know, what, Sean, what are your thoughts? What exactly are some of your memories where you can remember the, you know, Pacquiao's career? I know a lot of people didn't start watching him from the beginning. It was kind of like once he started it kind of moving up and, you know, becoming a champion.
Your favorite moment?
What's your favorite moment?
What's your favorite Pacquiao moment?
For me, you know, I have him categorized differently because obviously his career spanned over 4 decades. So the fight that I was introduced to him, I believe actually we might have the same experience. Like my first fight, which was my favorite experience, was the first Marco Antonio Barrera fight. Like nice. I remember watching it on HBO and it's being like blown away, man. He was a whirlwind. And, you know, I was high on Marco Antonio Barrera. So
you were high?
I couldn't believe you know, how amazing he was looking.
Whoa.
Nice.
Whoa.
So I mean, I love that fight just because there was such a unexpected, amazing entry into boxing for me. So I enjoyed that. But I think my 2 biggest memories were I had what I call, you know, some unique experiences. You know, 2 years ago, I saw Manny Pacquiao's, you know, last victory in person. I went to Las Vegas.
Well,
hey, look at me, right? So why that was so special is that was kind of unexpected because I didn't think he was going to win, to be honest.
Wow.
And
what a hater. You know, what a hater.
Hating all the way to the bank. So I was thinking, you know, I don't know if I really even want to go see that. And I you know, weren't sure what kind of Keith Thurman we were going to get. So I was thinking, you know, this might be a bad situation for Manny Pacquiao, the senator from the Philippines. But I remember walking into the stadium and, you know, I actually got there late because I went there coming from somewhere else.
You're at the food line.
The buffet. I was in Vegas. So, you know, the crowd and everybody, you know, was buzzing. And then for the first round, everybody knows when he got that knockdown, when Keith Thurman tried to step back and he kind of closed in on him. I never heard such a roar in a stadium, and I always remember that. But the memory that is most prominent for me and special to me, I remember I had a unique situation where I was working one of my former companies where I had to go overseas, and I was in the Philippines when he fought Ricky Hatton, and I had breakfast at a hotel, and they said, you know, do you want to watch the fight? And I sat like right in the front, right in the front, like, you know, like, and there was people coming there because the cool thing about it, because when they were fighting, you know, they're fighting in Vegas. It was, you know, 23-hour difference. It was morning in the Philippines, Sunday. So you got to have like Sunday breakfast. It was real relaxed. You know, everybody was, but, you know, it was a different vibe. You know what I mean? But hey, man, when the fight started, it was just like any other fight night, you know? So I was used to, you know, with my my family and barbecues and things like that. But being in the Philippines, seeing, you know, Manny Pacquiao at the height of his powers was just, you know, chills. It was unbelievable. And just seeing in person what he meant to them and, you know, how much, you know, he was more than just a fighter. It was more than just a win. It was, you know, a victory that they all got to share. And it was amazing being part of it. So for me, those 3 things are forever entrenched to me. And, you know, no one could take that away from me. You know, from the standpoint of, I know personally people have issue with, alleged, you know, did he take PEDs and, you know, look at the size of his head and, you know, all this stuff. And hey, you know, it is what it is. I mean, we kind of talked before on one of our lives about, you know, allegedly this and allegedly that. But ultimately, you know, it was never proven. And, you know, my experience is my experience. And I greatly value it. And it was a moment I greatly cherish.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, see, good stuff, Gringo. I could tell that came from the heart. You getting a little teary-eyed over there.
Oh, no, I have allergies too, sir. I'm just not.
Allergies too?
I can't afford glasses.
Well, these were my birthday gifts, so my parents gave it to me. It's the only reason I have them. No nice little Under Armour gifts, shades. But no, and I actually wanted, you know, this Manny Pacquiao show. When I came up with the idea, I didn't want it to come across as, oh, you know, Manny Pacquiao was born and this and that and this and that. No, I wanted to skip all that because you can find that information on your own. I want to talk about just nuggets and favorite moments, and I want to talk about my what I found very interesting is his U.S. debut at the MGM Grand was his HBO debut against Lilo Ledwaba, the great Lilo Ledwaba. What a great career he had. Now, I find it interesting for a variety of reasons. Now, this is where someone enters his life, someone that's synonymous with Manny Pacquiao. You guys want to guess who enters his life in this fight?
Freddie Roach.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
Somebody watches boxing.
El Maestro.
Yes, he's synonymous with it. He's synonymous.
You know, I
with
forgot
Freddie
about
Roach.
that until you mentioned that right now.
This is where Freddie Roach enters Manny Pacquiao's life. He had just come over a victory over, now, forgive me if I butcher the name, Kumampech Karporov, to retain his WBC Interweight Bantamweight title. So Manny and his manager, they decided to take a vacation to San Francisco. You know, a few weeks passed by and decided to take a bus to Hollywood in search of a gym to stay in shape. Someone recommended the Wild Card Boxing Club. They walked in, stated they needed a trainer, introduced themselves to a young Freddie Roach, the gym owner, and it was love at first sight. That it took one round for both of them to really love each other. Pacquiao went back to his corner. He said, "I have a new trainer." Freddie went back to his corner, praising Pacquiao, and said, "We have a new fighter. This guy is great." And the timing of it all is crazy because right before Pacquiao was going to leave back to the Philippines, he got a phone call, and he was offered a fight to challenge IBF Junior Featherweight champion Lilo Ledwaba. Pacquiao was the number 3 rated contender at the time, and the two fighters in front of him, they wouldn't, or take the fight. So it came down to Pacquiao, and he accepted. If that phone call comes a day later, Manny misses out. So, and at the time, this is for all my boxing hardcores. You guys would know this, but at the time, South African Lilo Ledwaba, he was the class of the 122-pound division. He was the man. He was 33-1. He was the pound-for-pound king in that division. And you know what else was pretty cool? This was co-main event to Oscar De La Hoya versus Javier Castillejo. So the exposure was great for Pacquiao. Everything was lining up for Pacquiao. And then the result of the fight, Pacquiao destroyed him in 6 rounds. He jumped on him from the beginning, and right from the start, it was all Pacquiao. And I just thought that was pretty cool. So in the span of 2 weeks, he met Freddie Roach. 2 weeks later, they became champions, unified champion of the 122-pound division, and the rest is history. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. How him and Freddie Roach, timing is everything in life, and stuff happens for a reason. And
that's awesome.
You get these people that are put in your life for a reason, and I just thought that was pretty cool.
No, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's great that you've taken us way, way back because, you know, though I kind of remember, that era a little bit. But I got really more interested in Pacquiao, back in 2003. This is where, one of my Mexican idols, that I love and I had a chance to meet, it was great. Marco Antonio Barrera. Very first fight when they fought. And let me tell you something. The last 31 fights of Pacquiao, talk about having a resume. All right. Do you want me to mention some of those?
Mention some.
Best trilogies, 3 trilogies, 4 fights against Juan Manuel Marquez, Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera. I mean, just think about everything he did in the last 31 fights. No one's ever done that. And when you think about starting 2003, I remember I moved here in 1998 in Texas. 2003, I was just really getting back into the boxing. And seeing this guy beating Marco Antonio Barrera in a knockout, just about almost like an 11-round knockout. Winning, I remember that was the Ring Magazine featherweight title. And that's where kind of things begun into getting interested at the featherweights, because the featherweights was a division that's, it's like right now the flyweight, the strawweight, and all those low divisions, they really don't pay attention. There's a lot of great people there, a lot of great champions. Don't get me wrong, and they're starting to build up some rivalries nowadays. You know, Chocolatito, El Gallo Estrada. I mean, these are really good rivalries in the bantamweights, in where Pacquiao really dominated. But when the challenges really came up, it was right at that 126 pounder, and then after that, it just kept on going. Took a loss against Eric Morales, then went on and beat Eric Morales, then went on to Oscar Larios. By the way, people thought that he was going to, get him knocked out in that. He lasted the 12 rounds with Larios. Then you go against Morales, Solis, Barrera, Marquez again. It was just that it was never ending for him. And then Oscar De La Hoya, that was the big showdown, 2008, and it just kept on going. Ricky Hatton until the nightmare came in. And this is where I would always think about Pacquiao when he fought Miguel Cotto, November 14th, 2009. I was there. I was excited. As a matter of fact, that was the first time I actually was very close to Freddie Roach, and I actually did get a picture. And I'm sorry, I don't think he'll remember this, but I mean, it was very quiet, walking to a restaurant that we were already inside in the MGM Grand. I was looking through a window, and I saw him walking by himself. And he was approaching the restaurant, so I got up, and I said, that's Freddie Roach. So I got up, took my phone, took a picture, and all of a sudden, everyone just started congregating around poor Freddie Roach. So bodyguards came in and kind of pulled him in the restaurant. I said, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't want to start something. Like, hey, cool. It was going to happen anyway, right? But, this is a humble, very humble Freddie Roach, in his prime with Pacquiao. I was hoping that Cotto would be able to, perform different. It was going to be a very close fight. And the positive is that the Filipinos over there, I mean, they were so nice to us. They knew they had a great champion. And, if you think about it, look at how many fights he had around that time. And it just didn't stop. It just kept going on and on and on. I mean, coming in Joshua Clottey, that's moving up. That was right here in Jerry
Cowboy
World.
Stadium, yep.
Cowboy Stadium. And then he went into Shane Mosley, Marquez again, Timothy Bradley. Another great, fights against another great. I mean, and these guys were in this prime, and Manny just kept on, performing at this best, at his level. I mean, it's just nonstop. If you want to think about a career where you can pretty get excited and watch, I mean, if you can go back, like I can see ESPN Classic, maybe in 5 to 10 years, having a whole, all the Manny Pacquiao fights, most of you want to know 72 fights, 62 win, 8 losses, 39 way a knockout and 2 draws. So what else can we say about Manny Pacquiao? He gave us a lot inside the ring, and now he's going to give us a lot outside the ring. So what a better moment that I think to hang up the gloves. I don't know. I would have done it, as a champion. We did think that he was going to beat Ugas, but he's no longer at the shape that he used to be. And honestly, I think this is the opportunity, and I hope that that door that's kind of cracked, it kind of closes, because I don't want to see him getting hurt, and I want to be able to him continue to shine. And I don't think people will see him like if he fights again and he loses again. I don't think people will kind of see him like, wow, oh my God, there goes Pacquiao's legacy. Not at all. But it's a little bit sweeter if it ends right now rather than doing it later on. If he comes back and wins the championship, I mean, that's great. But honestly, it's I don't think he has time for that right now.
Yeah, well said. And, great moments brought up by both you guys. I think another important thing for me, too, is it's like because he spanned over so much time. And I love that Hopper brought up that great, earlier memory. It's like he's had multiple careers, you know, and I also look at the fact of, let's be honest, I mean, has there ever been a star, a superstar in boxing that was, knocked out like the way he was when he was knocked out by Marquez in their 4th fight, and then come back and regain momentum to the point of where he won the title. And even in his last fight, I mean, it wasn't just a gimme throwaway retirement fight. It was for a title, right? It was against a formidable opponent in Udonis Ugas. So to the very end, if it is the end, it's very commendable. It's very sad for me because you have so many fighters right now that don't want to smoke. There's no other way to put it. you know, that there's all these excuses. And I know that a lot of it's things that they can't control. We blame them because we see them and they put themselves in the front, in the forefront with their social media. You know, there's a lot of powers behind them in regards of the marketing and their promoters and their managers. But, you know, through it all, you know, Pacquiao had those same things, and those fights were able to get made, and amazing fights, like multiple trilogies and, you know, fights against other great champions. So it's a very sad day. And I'm so thankful that we're given this opportunity to see him fight. And I'm so happy that Hopper, you know, Allergy Hopper, brought it up for us to talk about him, because
Allergy Hopper,
to me, it does make me not disappointed, because honestly, there's nothing that boxing could do to disappoint me.
But you're half man, half disappointment.
Yeah, half man, half disappointment. But there really, I think, should be more acknowledgement and appreciation for what this man did. I mean, there are people that don't like him, I'm sure, but I just can't see how you can't acknowledge the feats that he did. I know people want to water it down, diminish it, or it wasn't 8 divisions, it was 5, or this and that. But, you know, he made excuses in his last fight. Ultimately, he took his last fight. He took multiple other fights that had great significance. And, you know, it's a sad day to lose him. I mean, he wanted the smoke. And if you're a fight fan, you have to respect that. And if you don't, I mean, why are you a fan of boxing? What do you want? I mean,
man?
You can keep your Twitter kings. I'll take the guys that want the smoke. So
no, but yeah, great stuff, guys. And yeah, Manny Pacquiao, he was a guy who fought everybody. But I kind of want to talk about how he became a household name, and I'm gonna have to, you know, pat my fellow Ken on the back, because I believe this is what pretty much catapulted him to the top.
Well, he's a Manny.
Well, he's a Manny, that's right. You know, so hey, tocayo, kind
Manny's are
Filipinos, Manuel, I guess.
They say we're all from outer space. I think we
check this out though. Starting in July of 2003, this is where he started becoming more of a household name. Now, if you start in July 2003 against Emmanuel Lucero, Pac-Man fought 11 of his next 12 fights. They were against Mexicans. He fought Morales twice in that span, Hector Velasquez, El Cholo Larios, Jorge Solis, his rematch with Barrera, and his rematch with Juan Manuel Marquez. And if you throw in David Diaz and Oscar de la Hoya, they weren't born in Mexico, but are of Mexican descent. That's 13 of 14 opponents fighting Mexicans. And this is where one of my least favorite nicknames ever. I hate this nickname, but he earned it. Pacquiao was called the Mexecutioner. He was beating up all the Mexicans, man, and that's what really catapulted him.
Man,
crazy.
Allergy Hopper, I can't believe I heard you actually say that.
That's what really catapulted him to crazy popularity. I mean, you get the Mexicans, the boxing crazed Mexicans on your side. Damn, man. You know, that's magnificent matchmaking. You know,
well, he was just eating.
And these weren't any Mexicans. He was fighting Marquez, Barrera. You know, these are legends in the game.
He was eating everyone inside the ring. That's why they call him. I mean, I don't know. That's why they call him Pac-Man. But I mean,
Mexecutioner. I hate that nickname.
Mexecutioner.
No, actually, I actually love that nickname. Hear me out. The reason why is you know, because I felt it was during that, it was rightfully earned, right?
Definitely.
Based off, that run was unbelievable. Like you said, you know, like some of the names I don't think get enough credit. David Diaz was not an easy fight.
No,
man.
Cholo Larios was far from easy.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we talk about Barrera and Morales, you know, for obvious reasons, and of course Marquez, who you know, beat him. Some people think multiple times, but you know, those are right.
I mean, Marquez beat him multiple times.
Yeah, Marquez.
Oh, yeah, I heard you wrong. I thought you said Pacquiao beat him multiple times.
No, that's Allergy Hopper.
Allergy Hopper's a little out of it.
Yeah, but I think he'll get a lot of recognition in the future. I mean, if you look at, first of all, his resume and what he's able to accomplish, and yes, it's 8 divisions, bro. 8 divisions. No one's ever done that.
Oh, but hey, the great Manny Pacquiao.
But here's the thing. All right. Besides that, he was the first boxer to win the Lineal Championship in 5 different weight classes. The first boxer to win major titles in 4 of 8 glamorous divisions. And I'm talking about flyweight, featherweight, lightweight, and the welterweight. I mean, these are very tough divisions. And on top of that, he's one of the only boxers to hold world titles across 4 decades. And it continues. He became the oldest welterweight in history, and he was a recognized 4 times welterweight champion after defeating Keith Thurman. So he's going to get a lot of glory. I think Pacquiao. Pacquiao's never been like in a out the streets or in fights and on the media's face. And I know he's had his tabloids over there at the Philippines, whether kind of marriage issues and PED speculations and things of that. But Pacquiao's never been in the public eye, and he's not a guy that constantly is bringing issues. I think he got himself together. I think he's up for bigger, better things, and he's been very quiet, and that's the way it's been. I would love to see Pacquiao eventually going to these fights, like some of these, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers. You see Miguel Cotto, you see B-Hop because he's involved in boxing, of course, but still, you still see a lot of these legends, and I'm glad I'm starting to see a lot more of Mano de Piedra Duran involved also as well in boxing, and be present in some of these fights because I think it's important. I think that they marked that era and they carved the path to what we currently have right now, and it's important that they're involved into it. I would love to see him as a promoter. I mean, look at the Philippines, how much they grew in terms of like boxers out there. They got more champions than Puerto Ricans. But anyway, I mean, look at the amount of new talented kids that are coming up, and if he's not able to, win the elections, I would love to see him involved in boxing, not inside the ring, but maybe outside the ring. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, for me personally, I think that he does have fighters that he's grooming and mentoring. His name is synonymous with, boxing, of course, Philippine boxers, so many that he's, motivated and inspired to go out there and do what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I think from that standpoint, I think he'll always have some level of involvement. And I think he truly loves to fight. He does. A lot of times when he's saying things, maybe it may come across as, he's trying to portray some sort of image. I really don't think so when it comes to boxing. Like when he says, I want to fight the best, I really believe that. Maybe it's naive. I'm being naive, but I truly think that's what his desires are. I think that his heart is into boxing and he loves the boxing. It's a part of who he is. It helped him get to what he has. It helped him create a name and create wealth for his family and, ultimately for his people, and I'm hoping that he does reach and achieve whatever level he wants to in regards of, political aspirations. I mean, I'm not political at all, but if he wants to improve things for, the people that, his people in the Philippines, good luck to him. And I hope it works out. But to your point, Manny Marrero, if, he does fall short of his aspirations and wants to be involved on some level, I'm all for that as well. Because, boxing needs people that care about it and want to see success and have the name and clout to carry it to where it needs to go and not just, people just trying to do money grabs. We've had way too much of that, man. Yeah. I want people that are truly passionate about the sport and want to see it grow the right way. And I think from the standpoint of Pacquiao understanding the potential of what can be done if a fighter is groomed and mentored the right way and given a chance to show what they can do and have success, then it could truly open a lot of doors for everyone. So,
well, he represented
that's my hope.
He represented boxing well. I mean, he was never a trash talker. Very, minimum of words, not a man of a lot of words. And he showed everything inside the ring. And it just proves that you don't have to be a trash talker. You don't have to script things and try to hype up fights. Because the way he was, if you guys think about it, 2015 was one of the biggest years for Pacquiao. That year, all right, Pacquiao's fights, they generated $1.2 billion in revenue for 25 pay-per-view bouts. $1.2 billion. And he was not a trash talker. So I think he did things right. He had the right people in his corner. Man, I mean, it's when you think about a perfect career, there you go. And he didn't end up undefeated. And he took a lot of beating. I mean, that devastating punch from Juan Manuel Marquez. I still feel it that day. I wasn't punched, and I still remember that. I'll never forget that. There's a couple of things I won't forget. It's the Cotto and that punch. And also, with all respect, Pacquiao's mom, cheering him up in the stands.
She's undefeated for sure.
She's definitely undefeated, but it's a family of faith.
Got the ojo working.
The ojo working. They're a family of faith, beautiful family, lots of children's, and lots of things to take care of.
But yeah, Manny Pacquiao, thank you for the stellar career. Thank you for the memories.
Yes,
you're God bless, brother.
You're a man among boys in the boxing game. We really appreciate it. Hope you're listening. I think you are. No.
You are.
Oh, man, he definitely is.
He really
Hey, thanks for everything, Pacquiao. You're the man.
You're the man, Pacquiao. El Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao. Aquí en el LongLiveBoxing en vivo podcast. ¿Y este episodio qué pasó?
Fuera.
Se acabó.
En vivo.
Hasta luego.